What is wrong with the world and the people of today? Here we are giving this kind of information out, and I hope you will watch this with somebody that you want to just slap the living daylights out of. I don't mean physically, I mean mentally, as in wake the hell up. This is the US debt clock. I have posted this on my social networks, and people don't pay attention to it. But if you mention Lady Gaga, who lip synced at the Super Bowl, you will see hundreds of comments, if not thousands. We are currently standing as a U.S. national debt of $19 trillion. The actual total U.S. debt is $64 trillion. Now, that's the doctored numbers that they want us to know. Now, we pull in, as it shows in the U.S. gross domestic product, about $18 trillion. So we have a total amount due of $64 trillion. We have a gross domestic product of $18 trillion minus $6.5 trillion for federal and state local spending. We have a net interest of $233 billion, where we've paid so far since this clock has been ticking $2 trillion in interest alone. There are parts of the government and parts of all governments that lie to us. We have many people showing you many different things, and the average person out there just doesn't care, and I would love to know why. What is it about this dream that so scares you to ever wake up to the point where you just don't care? You just don't want to listen. You don't want to see the writing on the wall. Do you think that these things will go away saying, ha ha ha, I don't see it, tra la la, I don't hear it? People are so worried about the Super Bowl. They're so worried about the fashions and Hollywood and all these other things. It's mind-blowing. The atrocities that some people in this world are allowed to get repeatedly over on us with, the death and destruction. And it's funny, people like me and others were called fearmongers or conspiracy theorists, but yet look at that national debt. You're telling me when everybody in the government, when they're wanting to get your votes and telling you how wonderful the United States of America is, how many of them mention we're $19 trillion in debt and $64 trillion in total debt, and we don't even pay 10% of that, and the interest compounding daily is going to bankrupt this country, which it already is. And yet, talk about Super Bowl, talk about Lady Gaga, talk about Justin Bieber, talk about the Kardashians, talk about fashion. People are all over that. That's what they want to hear. And we're the crazy ones. We're labeled the conspiracy theorists. We're the ones that are bringing down your high. Well, sorry that our dose of reality and the big fact that we care about you to try and save you is inconveniencing your dream. Wake up. And I've used this analogy before. The best way to describe the general sleeping masses is somebody sleeping in their bed and they're having the best pornographic dream they could ever have, where they have all their desires being fulfilled. They could fly. They have endless amounts of power and money and authority and fame and fortune. But their house is on fire, and they don't know it because they're asleep. And you, as a caring person, barge into their house and try and wake them from their slumber. And it's dark, and they don't know that there's a fire. They just see some stranger trying to wake them and ruining their dream. And they're going to be pissed off at you, and they're going to fight you. But you know, us caring people, we could easily just leave you alone and let you die in that fire. And say the hell with you. But the reason we don't is because we have something that you need to get back. And that is the ability to care about more than just yourself. And we will lift you out of your bed with you kicking and screaming and biting and punching and clawing and cursing. And throw you out of your own house. So you could look on the ground and see that your house was on fire and all we were doing was trying to save you. And then you have the people that troll these channels and spread hatred because, heaven forbid, you don't say everything exactly right or exactly the way they believe in it. I see so many people that are trying their best to wake up people and get frustrated and want to quit. These are the people who are trying to save your lives by caring about you, and you ignore them or attack them or make fun of them when you can easily verify so many of the things they talk about because some of it's crazy. Well, truth is stranger than fiction, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Twain said at one point, and I don't have the direct quote, that it's always easier to tell fiction than the truth because the truth has to make sense. I'm sorry, fiction has to make sense. So it's easier to tell a lie than to tell the truth. That's what it is. Forgive me, I'm just saying it offhand. So, because things are crazy, that doesn't mean they're not true. They sound crazy, they don't mean they're true. Well, look at this debt. How crazy is that you're told by your politicians who want your votes that we're the wealthiest nation in the world and we owe 64 going on $65 trillion. We are negative 64 trillion in the bank. Can somebody please explain to me how that's wealthy? We have this system based on credit and loans. We borrow money from a Federal Reserve that is a private-owned bank owned by shareholders from the very owners of the banks that we bailed out in 2008, and they gave us the bill and they call it taxes. The Federal Reserve opened in 1913, which coincidentally enough was the same year they invented the tax that takes money out of your working income, your income tax. Look it up. Before that time, 100% of the money you earned was in your pocket. But governments love to borrow money and give us the bills and make you either feel afraid or they fill you with propaganda and program you. And these are easily checkable. People throughout history have been trying to warn people. What does it take for people to listen? What the hell is wrong with you? Now, I'm not talking about the ones who care. I'm talking about the ones that are probably sitting next to you right now that can't wake up or refuse to because we're ruining their high, we're ruining their buzz, we're ruining their good time. You want to party like it's 1999? Is that why you were placed on this earth? To be greedy, selfish people who only care about themselves and will hurt others because their belief system is different than yours? I don't understand it. This world is not what it seems. And the proof is just right here. Don't even talk about all the other things that are going on. It's like the truth of the world is a puzzle that somebody took and didn't tell anybody that puzzle existed. Smashed it into millions of pieces and buried it all over the place. And expect people to first know it even exists, and then to find all the pieces and try and put them together. And that's why different channels will talk about different things. And then you'll have the people that get paid to distract you and lie to you and purposely give misinformation, because God forbid you learn anything about this fraudulent system. Wave your flags. Keep cheering your military leaders that send your children to die for their pockets to be filled with more possessions as we get poorer and poorer, and call people like me and others the crazy ones. When did the government get a free pass? Since when are we supposed to have a government that tells us exactly everything that we're supposed to do, and we're supposed to fear them, they're supposed to fear us? It's we the people. We are supposed to be the people in control. They are the representatives of us. Are they representing you? You'll cheer the next one on, and some people, just because Hillary Clinton is a woman, you'll have a woman say, oh, well, it's a woman, so I guess we have to go through that feminine movement, so I have to vote for her only because she's a woman. Who cares what she talks about? I don't want to know her agenda. I just care that she's a woman. Really? And we're the stupid ones. There are some people that do this, and we get no reward for it. We get insulted, we get threatened, we get abused, we get ridiculed, we get ignored. So there is no glory in this. It'd be so much easier for some of us to make videos about cats. and making random reaction videos or talking about nonsense gossip and drama. But we do it because for some reason we care about some of your sorry asses out there. Because it's like they say, united we stand and divided we fall. So if we don't wake you people up, then we suffer along as well. And maybe some of us care a little bit too much. So for all of you that care out there and get frustrated, don't do it for the pats on the back. Don't do it for the congratulations or the fame or the fortune. Do it because it's right, so never give up. It's hard because people are lazy. People are angry. People love to be distracted, and people don't want to take responsibility, because if they learn that this world is not what they think it is, they actually might have to do something. And there goes their free ride, their nice little high. So I'm not going to apologize if I've pissed somebody off and ruined their little mini vacation. Because you're on the Titanic and the Titanic is sinking. And oh, by the way, research the Titanic, because it sank in 1912, coincidentally enough, 1 year before the Federal Reserve opened. And if you know anything about the Titanic, there were certain people that were actually going to vote against the Federal Reserve from ever happening. But dead men tell no tales. But if you want to believe it was an iceberg that knocked it down, by all means, live the dream. But personally, as much as I love you all, some of you, or most of you out there, and of course, like I said, it's not the people that come to my channel to listen, so don't think I'm directing this towards you. It's those that think this stuff is crazy, that think it's bullshit, that I'm speaking about. Look at the clock, and that's just the US clock. Let's look at the world clock, shall we? Here, let's click on the world clock. Ready for this? Let's see. We got Argentina, Australia, Brazil, China, Canada, England, France, Germany, Greece, India, Ireland, Italy, Japan, Mexico, Portugal, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Korea, Spain, United States of America Corporation, all in the red. Red means debt. Why is it all of these countries are in the red? Who is in the green? The green means profit. I'm sure if you saw the Federal Reserve and the banks, you would see them in the green. But every country here is in the red. And every country is blaming somebody else, because that's what divide and conquer is all about. This is the world debt. Every one of them owe more than they get. See a trend here? Does it sound so crazy? It makes me sick sometimes, but I do it because I care and I love helping. But heaven forbid you post something like this on your Facebook page or your social network, everybody ignores it. But if I was to post a picture of a dancing cat, everybody jump on it, because that's what's important. And again, we're the crazy ones. So if you want to share this, do what you want. I'm going to continue to make videos to help the very few that care enough to have things that matter be relevant. That the Super Bowl wasn't the end of all ends. Yes, it's nice to be entertained, but if you spend your whole life with that, you're just like what happened in Pinocchio. Remember when Pinocchio was going to go to school and he was convinced by the fox that all he had to do was visit that land where he could smoke all he wanted and shoot pool and play hooky? And all of a sudden he grew into a donkey. In other words, he grew into a jackass. So keep getting fed the lies. Keep having your wonderful dream. God forbid somebody that loves you and cares about you wants to help you to see that your house is burning. And the world is burning, not physically, but look at all this world debt. See any country in the green? Wonder who's making them bankrupt. Maybe it's because they all keep borrowing more and more money to try and stay above the water, and they have weights tied to their ankles, and they wonder why they're sinking. Some might be stronger swimmers, but they'll all go under. And this is what most people don't want to get. That's why you don't see this stuff when they do the political debates in any country. They talk about the stuff that angers you, or the stuff that doesn't really matter. at least in the grand scheme of things. They work on your emotions. They don't work with truth. And these are the numbers that they let you see. It's amazing that people can have this information right in front of them. I mean, I got to the point on my social networks, just click here and you'll see the truth. And people don't even want to do that, you lazy people. And you will get what you deserve. And the funny part is, if there ever is a problem where all currencies or some of the currencies or one of the currencies, because it's not money, but one of them collapses and they all fall down and you sit there saying, oh my God, I didn't see this coming. Really? You didn't see it coming. Or maybe you just had your head so far up your ass you couldn't see reality and thought it'd be easier to make fun of somebody like us that help you because you don't want to actually be an individual. You don't want to stand out for yourself. And that's a beautiful thing about people that make these kind of videos to help people. And there are plenty of them out there that usually we have to work alone and be ridiculed by the many who need to gang up on others that are doing nothing more than trying to help them. So yeah, this is a different type of video. I can feel the emotion, and sometimes it's therapeutic, and it's going to help me feel better. Because if I've impacted one person who once didn't give a crap, and then after watching this video decided to, maybe I should focus on things more important in life, then you know what? I'm damn glad I did it. So for the people who attack, and the people that make fun, and the people that ignore, shame on you. Shame on you for helping evil thrive. Evil can exist when good men do nothing. That, to me, is crazy.